Hello and welcome to the TheKnitGirlls. This is episode 540. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today is the 30th of July.
Look at you projecting your voice.
We're at Laura's again.
We are, and there's fans going because for those of you who aren't in Mississippi during this heat wave, it is 109 degrees outside. And my air conditioning is struggling a bit.
Yeah.
I think everyone in the collective group of Mississippi is struggling with this heat a little
there's
bit.
a heat wave across the U.S.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
So we're lucky that we have air conditioning, but I also have tower fans because my overhead fan, my ceiling fan died last week. So yeah, there's that.
Recording at Laura's again. We should be back to normal next week. All the computer parts except the case came in yesterday, and the case came in today, so that's Michael's project for the weekend. Plus, I'm making him replace my desk with a bigger one.
Oh, look at you!
So that I can actually rest my arm on the desk for my mouse. That should help my
your carpal tunnel. The downstairs desk or the upstairs desk?
downstairs.
Oh, awesome.
The one I spend 8+ hours a day on.
Are you going to move that desk upstairs then?
I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
Cool.
So yes, we should be back to normal next week. So if there are audio issues or anything this week, just please bear with us. We're trying. Okay. I expect this one will be a relatively quick episode because I don't have a heck of a lot to show, and neither does Laura.
I have a lot of secret stuff that I can't show y'all for an article I'm working on. So it is what it is.
And she has spent a lot of time making and unmaking.
Yeah, that's true
this
too.
week, so
that is a very valid point.
And I've spent a lot of time like cleaning and organizing this week, so it hasn't given me a lot of time for crafting.
I've spent a lot of time at work too.
Yeah. And you go back next week. So.
I do. I start Monday.
Yay! Would you like to go first, or would you like
Sure, I can go first, because I only have one thing that's actively on the needles, and then 2 sweaters to talk about. So I'm currently knitting on some sock tube socks out of Into the World, speckle dyed, in the colorway Handbags at Dawn. I'm knitting it on size 1 needles. Or no, that's a total lie. I'm knitting these on size 0 needles. I knit my sport weight socks on size 1 needles. And they are quite gorgeous. I have the cuff done on both of them, which is just a 2x2 rib. I have the toe done on one of them, and I'm working on the toe on the second. So, and I'm magic looping using those size 0 needles. I'll cut in some afterthought heels, and these might actually get done next week. We'll see. I have to continue with my secret knitting, but I also have a lot of meetings next week, so we'll see what happens for sure. So that is what I am actively working on right now. I also have a baby hat somewhere around here out of hand spun. It's the same pattern that I've done a bazillion of, so I will show you guys that when it's done. What I swatched for this week, I swatched for the V-neck magpie pattern. And this is going to be in 2 colors. It is a V-neck crop top that is a little oversized. My plan is to wear it with a dress or high-waisted pants or a tunic. So this goldy color is actually this hand spun. And both these hand spuns are out of Hello Yarn. This was 4 ounces. And it will be at the top collar, the top V-neck, and then the tops of the sleeves. And then the rest of it, I have 8 ounces. My ball winder did not like...
Oh, wow.
It decided like halfway through that it did not like it.
How much yardage?
600 yards, approximately. So, I was aiming for sport weight on both of these. The pattern actually calls for fingering weight, but the pattern also calls for it to be on a size 10.5 needle. And this is my sport to DK weight on a size 10. and it's still a little bit small, but I like I don't want to go much looser than this. I like the text.
The density?
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, this is a pattern that calls for something like 6 to 12 inches of ease. So I'm just going to, instead of having 6 to 12, I looked at Amy Best Notes, the Fat Squirrel, because she knit one of these and wore it at SSK the last time we had it. And she actually did negative ease on hers. So, because she was short on yarn. And so I'm going to do like 3 inches of positive ease, I think. I don't like a ton more than 3 inches. So, that is kind of my secret happy zone, really.
Yeah. I think the larger you are, depending on the construction of the top, I don't know, comfort is very singular to the individual.
Yeah.
But for me, like you, I like a little bit of ease, but like something big and oversized, to me, on me, would look like a tent, not like a cute slouchy sweater.
Well, this will crop like right here.
Right.
So you got to show your crotch last week.
We went on a journey together.
All about the boobs this week. So mine will be more like this, and it's knit from the top down. It's a really, really cool construction. I did her baby version of Magpie Tendency last year.
You did out of handspun, right?
No, it was out of Tempting You fingering weight yarn that had sparkle in it. And I actually gifted that to a coworker recently for a baby, for her little baby.
You did it out of handspun.
I don't know, because I know a lot of stuff out of handspun.
You do, but...
So this is the swatch for that. It should be, the goal was a 6-inch size swatch. It's more like 5.5, but also gravity will play a little bit with it too. So just some things to think about. And I like that. I don't know that I could go much looser than that.
I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of a lace chart.
Nope.
You're gonna have to wait.
Nope. So that is the first thing that I swatched for. The second thing I haven't swatched for, but I did an Instagram live about, Shayna Lines has a new pattern that calls Recalibrate out, and it also calls for fingering weight on oversized needles. It has like a center panel. It almost looks like a poncho with sleeves, and then it's garter stitch out. It's super cute, and both these patterns are great ways of using up stash. So this is going to be the main color of that, and I'm currently spinning some CVM roving for the trim, which is the center panel, the back panel, and then some I-cord and a little bit of other stuff. So that is the plan for this. I haven't swatched yet because I'm going to swatch with the main trim color as well. And this is around 1,000 yards of fingering weight from 8 ounces. So yeah, it's also like a little bit of a lighter fingering weight. That also is a pattern that calls for lots of ease, so I might just go up a size and down a couple needles. We'll see. It's garter, so it should be pretty squishy. All the garter stitch for me this week. And I am done. What are you working on with your lace chart that you can't touch my things?
Well, I can't put it down in the middle. So this I talked about last week. I started this. It's called the Solvic Shirt, and it's by Skein-Deer Knits, or Skein-Deer Knits. Okay. So it's it's just a garter stitch, simple summer top with a little bit of lace down the center panel.
It's super cute.
It does have you doing garter stitch sort of in the round, but it's basically flat. It's difficult to describe, but you are doing garter stitch. You're not doing stockinette to end up with a garter stitch. Or you're not alternating knit and purl rows. You're always knitting. So I've joined under the sleeve. So last week I had started the front. I don't think I had picked up for the back yet, but
It looks like you made some good progress.
Yeah, I mean, not as much as I would like, because it's knit on size 10 or 10 and a halves. I don't remember. and I'm using this Sadness SANDNES garn. It's from
We bought it
Norwegian.
at House of Yarn.
Yeah, but it's Norwegian. Is that Norway?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. It's like 7 o'clock on a Friday and my brain is done. Yeah, so we got this at House of Yarn when we went through last week, week before. And yeah, it's knitting up pretty quick. I wear this kind of thing a lot because I tend to wear simple camis in the summer with shelf bras built in. And so something like this I can throw over and it'll dress it up, and I really have to put in no effort whatsoever, which is pretty much my mantra. But yeah, so I've got 3 more skeins of yarn to go.
Oh, wow.
I've used 3. It's meant to be a little bit cropped, so.
Is there any more to the sleeve, or is
Nope.
that it? Okay.
That's it. And yeah, so this is the right side out. I can tell because I've got my little
Your unicorn from
Whimsy Stitches.
Yeah.
It's my little progress keeper that I got from Rick at Whimsy Stitches.
So is that where you were last week?
No, this is just telling
Okay.
me the right side.
Gotcha.
Because it's garter stitched, so they look very similar. This way I know which side is the right side. But yeah, that's it. That's all that I've been working on. I've got a tiny bit of spinning, but Laura's got FOs, right?
I have FO. I finished my Moonlink Cacao by TheKnitGirlls out of Handspun, and it's been blocked and everything. So it is knit. You start with it flat, which is really, really interesting, and then you put it in the round, and then you actually decrease some. And so it's kind of a bandana cowl that squishes down, and it'll keep me nice and warm, tucked into a jacket in the wintertime. And I can even pull it up a little bit over my ears if I get colds. So I think it'll be great for like when I'm outside
Doing bus duty or something.
doing like a soccer game or bus duty or, whatever. And it's purple,
Yeah.
and I do like purple.
It is your color.
So there's enough where it folds over that these eyelets that you knit really become decorative elements. And I knit it out of a woolen spun that I spun out of a Knit Spin Farm bat. So it should be nice. It's nice and light, but it should also be nice and warm. It's caught all that air in there. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. So that is going for me in my winter accessory pile. I might knit another one for my mom because she likes to go walking a lot and hiking in the winter time. And I think that would be super fun. So it's like a lilac, but it's got these undertones of a neutral goldish color that comes into play. It's really, really fun. Joanne Knit Spin Farm does a great job with her bats. Absolutely love them. And I knit this on 2 different size needles. I knit this on 9s and 7s, I believe. So again, went fairly fast. This week's all about the big needles and the hand spun for me, it seems like.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, you have spinning though. Do you want to talk about that?
I have just a little bit. Well, in comparison to you, it's not a little bit for me. Sorry, I'm buried under skeins of yarn. So I am spinning this. Laura and I both are in the club that Joanna Knit Spin Farm does. She has both a sock yarn club and a bat club.
And we do both because we love Joanna, Bill, and Pulo that much.
It's a small indie company.
It's a farm.
And they're great people. So this was the club from December of 2019, and it's called Peaches and Spiced Peaches and Heavy Cream. Laura's not a peach fan.
I'm not.
So occasionally one of us will really like really like the colors. So we'll keep both bats.
Yeah.
And then, a couple months later.
That's how I kept both bats of these, I think, in exchange for that. So we swap off.
So I've already spun 3 ounces. This is what it looks like. I've torn the bat into just little strips, so it's easier to spin. You can spin it directly from the whole big bat, but I put off a lot of heat, so I'd end up felting what I was holding in my hand. But I have spun 3 ounces of it. So
look at that Acreworks bobbin.
this is I spun on the Majacraft Rose, and this is one whole bat, and I'm spinning another whole bat on the Rose. I'm doing woolen spun, and I really like spinning Joanna's bats woolen spun. They make me happy.
I do too.
I think I'll get some decent yardage for me out of this, because I feel like
It's
I got
very
quite a
thin and
bit,
even. Yeah.
out of it. So,
You've been working on it for quite a while.
well, in your terms of spinning, it's been a while. I've
No,
only been spinning
like-
on it like 3 or 4 days.
But like 3 to 4 hours
Yeah.
each of those days. Like, that's
When I
substantial.
come over to hang out for knit night, or hang out just with Laura.
'Cause I'm so popular.
Yeah. We have to figure out what we're going to do once school starts, and whether we're going to record in
I
person or
know.
not. So that'll be a fun conversation.
That's gonna happen probably tomorrow.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what I'm spinning. Hopefully I'll have finished the rest of this by the next time we record. I doubt I'll have plotted it, but at least I'll have the spinning part of it done, hopefully. And yeah, oh, I forgot. I did have another thing to talk about in works in
Oh,
progress.
look at that!
So this is from Hook, Line, and Tinker. That's the company, but I bought it at House of Yarn. They have kits, but you can also get just the pattern on Etsy or a kit. But I got it from House of Yarn. So I'm working on the little sheep.
I love that.
It's it's not super complicated, but I keep knotting my yarn, because I always think you're supposed to only do like from your the length of your thread should only be about from your finger to your elbow.
Good to know.
It's less likely to get tangled.
Yeah. Good to know.
But I'm always like, I'll just go a little farther. It'll be like from my fingers stretched all the
It'll
way
be
to my
like
neck.
from my elbow.
Like, how far can I pull it out? That's how long it's going to be. And that almost always backfires.
Yeah, I could see that backfiring.
So, yeah, so I've spent a little bit of time unpicking and redoing a part of it. But, yeah, I've made some progress on it. Not a ton this week. I've had a lot of actual work I've had to do that means I can't, spend 10 minutes on a meeting working on it.
Yeah.
So. That's the way it goes sometimes.
That is how it happens. I have 2 items of spinning.
Okay, I'm just going to move the show notes so that we can read them all.
I have this hand spun that I spun on my Starling V3 when we were visiting my parents.
That is a very you color.
And then just plied it. It's funny because in the bag I saw a lot of peach and I was like, I don't know. But I really like how it came out. This is Bubbles and Squeaks by Into the World. It was their club colorway for, I think, May or June. It is on Falkland, which is one of my favorite fibers to spin. Falkland isn't actually a sheep. It's an island where they source this fiber from.
It's like Hog Island.
Yeah, but Hog Island is a specific breed of sheep.
I thought that's what it started out as, or something, but now it's an area.
Well, so the Hog Island sheep were all like one breed, and then a hurricane came, and those sheep were left to be feral. And over time, because humans weren't taking care of them, they developed like certain characteristics through the genetics of the ones that survived.
I thought that they were... Okay, I believe you, because I don't remember as much about this stuff as you do. Also, I do not recommend looking up what bubble and squeak means on the Urban Dictionary.
No, don't do it.
You will need to bleach your brain.
That's very true. But it is a food as well.
Yes, it is a popular British food that is basically like mashed potatoes and cabbage mixed together and fried.
Deep fried, yeah. Sounds
Which
delicious.
sounds great. I'd love that.
Yeah. Urban Dictionary is not child friendly at all. It's a lot of like slang. Anyway.
It is rated NC-17.
Or R in a lot of ways. Anyway, so this is 375 yards of a 2-ply, and I'm quite happy with it. So that's like a sport weight. It's a fingering. And then I'm also spinning. I forgot to put this in the show
Oh,
notes.
there's so much gold in that.
I know. This was the Hello Yarn June Club, June 2021. It's called Skep, SKEP. It is organic Polworth, and I spun this on the Sparrow, and it has yet to be applied. And I was trying to spin this a bit thicker, so it's definitely going to be more of like a DK weight. We'll see.
So organic, when it comes to wool, means that the sheep weren't fed anything with pesticides, or
And I don't think that they're sprayed with pesticides.
are they normally?
Yeah, they're usually dipped.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know how dogs, you can dip them in like anti-flea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sheep and stuff like that are usually dipped or sprayed as well. Anyway, so I believe, but I haven't done a lot of research onto organic when it means what it means when it comes to fiber.
Yeah.
So I really should look that up a little bit more. But yeah, so that will hopefully be applied next week, depending on the back to school.
Insanity.
Yeah, like next Wednesday is usually our knit night, which we're moving virtually for our local group because I'll be amongst a large population of people who are unvaccinated just because they're under the age of 12. And so I don't want to carry something one way or the other, since a lot of the people in our knit group are older than I am, including Leslie, who has a birthday next week, y'all.
I do. I'll be 41. I'm not ashamed of my age.
So we'll see if I can carve out some time to craft this week. Back to school is always very chaotic
And also
stressing.
It's getting back
stressful.
into the swing of things.
Yeah.
That Laura usually spends the first, at least in my experience, which granted hasn't, it's only been 10 years or so. But usually the first week back to school, Laura has to nap to recover.
That's very true.
In the afternoon before she can sort of get back into the swing of it.
I have started switching my sleep schedule, so I've been going to bed around 11 o'clock and still sleeping until 7.
Enjoy it while you can.
Once school starts, yeah. Sunday night, I'll have to be in bed by 9 because that 5 a.m. will come very fast.
It's not like you're going to sleep. You're going to stress stream yourself anyway.
I'm going to stress anyway. And that's part of it is I find there's just a lot to do in a short period of time. And even though I go in and work unpaid over the summer quite a bit and do a bunch of stuff, it seems like it never quite gets done. I just found out today that Kobe's old school, his old middle school, has almost 1,700 kids going there next year.
Jeez.
Yeah. 16, I think she said a little over 1,600.
Wow.
So, I'm very fortunate in that I have like around 1,100 kids. But that's still a lot of laptops and stuff to issue. I told her I would go up one night and help her issue laptops if she needed it. Anyway, there's a lot to get done.
Are the kids doing laptops even in school this year?
Yeah.
Oh.
They did last year too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's because Kobe had a computer, so he didn't feel the need to pay to rent.
There are kids that need it. He didn't, so.
Absolutely. That is it for me for spinning. I'm about to start the new Nalini Singh book that just came out called Last Guard. It is an adult male-female fantasy romance. So that is going to be my de-stressor read for the weekend. Although I have some kids' books I also want to read as well. So yeah, that's what I'm reading. What are you reading?
I'm rereading, although I think I've gotten 2 chapters read in a week. I'm rereading the 4th in the Born in Fire series, and that's by K.F. Breen. I think Natural Witch is what that's called. I just re-listened to the first 3 in the Hidden Legacy series, and that is by Alona Andrews, a husband and wife writing team. Because I just needed something brainless. And I might actually listen to the Innkeeper series again. What else? Oh, I've been watching Dr. Death.
How's that going?
On Peacock.
That's a Memphis.
Yeah, it was a podcast that Eloise from my local Knit Night recommended.
It's a nonfiction podcast.
Correct. It is a nonfiction podcast presented by Wondery, I think. And I listened to it a couple years ago when Eloise recommended it, and then I re-listened to it maybe last year. And they made a show out of it where Joshua Jackson plays the main character. Alec Baldwin and Christian Slater are also in it. I mean, the show is good. It's got, of course it's dramatized, but it's just essentially it's about a surgeon who is not performing surgeries in the way that they should be performed.
And has the nickname Dr. Death.
Yeah, it's a little scary. You try to put if you try to empathize with these people who
lives were destroyed.
Yeah, who went through these terrible things. So, and some of them didn't go through. Some of them ended.
Yeah.
So, but it's an interesting show. Making It is back.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't
That's
think it's
also on
over.
Peacock.
I think it's like halfway through the season.
No, it just started it's starting in August, I thought.
Nope. There's at least 3 episodes out already.
Oh. I thought it wasn't starting until August. Cool. We can watch that.
So, yeah, so that's something Laura and I will watch. That's got Amy Poehler and Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
They're from several things, but Parks and Rec are what they worked in together.
And it's a crafting competition show, so it's
they
enjoyable.
do all sorts of crafting. You make something, and you can use whatever materials you want to do it, whether that's balloons or wood or plastic or gummy bears. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a cool show.
Absolutely.
That's all I got.
Awesome. That's about it. We will see you guys next week. Our Patreons we will see tomorrow, which will probably be
the day that this goes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will probably go up on Saturday. But we have a Patreon fail on tomorrow. We're going to try to make resin crafts.
Which we should do in a well-ventilated area and wearing gloves, someone said. So thank you for that knowledge.
I will make sure to bring gloves. I don't know where the well-ventilated area is going to be.
Well, we can open the front door here.
And have the fans going and everything. Yeah. Because if we were to do it outside, we would melt. There's just
I don't think the resin would ever cure.
Well,
like
it's
it would
UV.
just okay.
Yeah, so it would, but we would die.
Yeah.
So, trade-off. So, yeah. We hope you guys have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. But is it bye for real? Bye for real.